What is up? Welcome to Miami Dolphins football radio. Well, actually, we're gonna call this Bentley's Dolphins Talk. I'll work on the name, but anyway, if you're a Miami Dolphins fan like myself, I don't blame you if you're feeling optimistic about this upcoming season, or if you're feeling excited. This team, it's unpredictable. It can go anywhere from 4-12 to, I'd say, 12-4, maybe the ceiling. Personally, I think the Dolphins go either 10-6 or 11-5 and get another wild card spot this year. And it's very likely the Dolphins do get a wild card spot. I mean, if you look at it, New England is pretty much all but guaranteed to take the #1 seed, let's be honest. Pittsburgh, Oakland, and Kansas City, they can all duke it out for that #2 seed. Alright. And Oakland and Kansas City, and maybe even San Diego after the addition of Mike Williams, can duke it out for the AFC West. I'm sorry, Denver. I don't see much of a future for you. And the AFC South, I'm pretty sure Houston's going to take that division, unless Tennessee surprises. In the AFC East, New England and Miami are the only two logical contenders in that division. I mean, Buffalo really did not do a ton to improve, and they still really don't have receivers. Sammy Watkins, I mean, if he can stay healthy and Zay Jones develops, Buffalo can be a contender. I mean, they still got LaShawn McCoy, a pretty good line, but I don't know. I mean, Buffalo's a question mark. The Jets, obviously, crap. But let's get to the Dolphins, and I'm going to go over position by position. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill, the starting quarterback, he is now 100%, and I feel confident that confident that Ryan will be. We'll have a breakout season. I really do. Matt Moore obviously will be the backup, and he did a heck of a job as a backup last year. And then for the third quarterback position, you have Brandon Doughty and David Fales. Shut up, Sean. I'm recording here, you moron. Get back. Get back. Obviously, I think Brandon Doughty should take it. David Fales, I mean, he's never going to develop into a legit quarterback, even a legit backup. So, obviously, Brandon Doughty, I think, has a lot more of a future. I think he can be an excellent second round, an excellent backup, and maybe eventually a Jimmy Garoppolo type situation where he can develop into some trade value for Miami and go be a franchise quarterback somewhere else.
Like Ryan Tannehill?
Cleveland, anybody? Sorry. Cleveland. But, yeah, Cleveland, once again, they're going to be a joke. Actually, I don't think they will be. I've got them winning 5 to 7 games this year.
The Jets will, though.
Let's be honest, there's only 2 jokes in the AFC. And that's the Jets and
the Browns. Bears.
The Browns. You idiot, the Bears aren't even in the AFC.
Do I know anything about soccer?
The Jets and the Colts. I think the Colts are a joke.
Josh, I just said, do you think I know anything about soccer?
Shut up, John. So, now running backs. Jay Ajayi, clearly an elite running back. Clearly an elite running back in Miami.
Okay. Who?
Jay Ajayi.
Just saying that 5 times fast.
Jay Ajayi. Shut up. Damian Williams last year. The dude is an amazing pass catcher, but I saw something in him that equates to aggression. I mean, the man, when we lined him up in the goal line, he took the ball and he had to run into people. And I like that. Damian Williams, awesome. Kenyon Drake, he still needs some work as a runner, but definitely a great pass catching back. Definitely a third down back for Miami. The receivers are just straight up amazing. Do I really need to go on about Jarvis? I mean, I could go on about him for 5 years. Devontae, expect a gigantic year out of him. He is an amazing receiver. Shut up, Sean. It's Devontae. Kenny Stills, he just signed a big contract. Expect a breakout year from him. If last year wasn't one. Sorry? I didn't do that. That was probably the dogs.
Pick it up, doggies.
Get off, Sean. Leonte Carew, he looked pretty good last year as a fourth receiver, but Isaiah Ford, watch out for him now. He's good too. And if he unseats Leonte, who's in his second year in this offense, then look for big things from Isaiah if we're not able to re-sign Jarvis Landry in the future. Look for Leonte or Isaiah to step up. Hopefully, though, we get Jarvis Landry back. Alright, and of course, Jakeem Grant. How can you forget about, they call him Mighty Mouse. He's only 5'6", but the man's explosive in kick returns. Him and Kenyon Drake. Well, let me make a comparison. Jakeem Grant could be like a smaller, quicker version of Devin Hester as a return specialist. Kenyon Drake could be like a more explosive version of Christian McCaffrey. Although Christian has not taken a snap in the NFL, so it really don't make a lot of sense as a comparison, but I'm going to make it anyway because I'm savage. Alright, tight end. Now, obviously, we have Julius Thomas, but Anthony Fasano's 33. I wish we had brought back Deion Sims. I really do, because Julius Thomas and Deion Sims would have been amazing. But behind that, who do we have? We have Marquise Gray, Dominique, the Williams guy. And then, Thomas Duarte, or Dort. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but can any of those guys step up and take over as number 2 or number 3 tight end? Just because we signed Fasano don't mean he's guaranteed to be guaranteed to even take over as number 2 tight end. Although he was a great tight end back when he was a little bit younger in 2012, but he's returning to a new offense with a brand new Ryan Tannehill, a franchise quarterback Tannehill, an elite Ryan Tannehill, if I may. Alright, the offensive line. Left and right tackle are solidified. I believe the Dolphins picked up Jawan James' 5th-year option, which signifies that the guy might be in Miami for a little bit while. A while more. Laramie Tunsil will slide in nicely at his natural position of left tackle, but the guard positions are experiencing some, competition. I eventually think Isaac Asiata does win the left guard position. He's just too good not to. And right guard's going to go to Jerron Bushrod. And remember, they're also cross-training Isaac Asiata at center too. So he can take over from Mike Pouncey possibly. If lo and behold, Pouncey gets injured. And then you can slide Anthony Steen or Ted Larson right in there at left guard. And the line should not lose a beat. Now to the defensive side of the ball. Defense is where it's at. I think we finally may have a championship caliber defense, especially if we make a trade for Michael Kendricks. Michael Kendricks would solidify our defense. You can move Raekwon to middle, but because I think Lawrence Timmons is just old, and I would rather have a fairly young linebacking core. But the defensive line, Ndamukong has already stated he is tired of losing in the playoffs. And I have a feeling this year he's going to go off and really earn that money this year. and for the next 4 years of his contract. You know, after him, I think Jordan Phillips keeps his second defensive tackle position. He's too good not to. Jordan Phillips is a good defensive tackle. He's underrated. You know, behind them, you got Davin Godshaw and Vincent Taylor as good depth guys at defensive tackle. Defensive end, Cam Wake's going to keep his starting position for this year. And then after, on the other side, you got Andre Branch, Charles Harris, and William Hayes competing for the defensive end position over there. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but if I was a Dolphins coach, I'd feel really comfortable with the defensive end position this year. There's a lot of depth on the defensive line. You know, I think they brought back Nick Williams, too, at defensive tackle. He was all right last year, so a lot of depth along the defensive line. Linebacker. Lawrence Timmons will probably take over middle linebacker unless they do unless they trade for Michael Kendricks, which I would. I would swing a trade for Michael Kendricks because he's good. And then I think you can slide Raekwon in the middle, but Raekwon's going to play outside. Behind him, though, at the outside linebacker position, you'll have Neville Hewitt and Koa-Misi. Now, if I was the Dolphins, I would look for a trade suitor for Koa-Misi. I really don't care much for Koa-Misi. He's not that good. But Neville Hewitt's a good linebacker. And would be a great backup to Raekwon. In the middle, Lawrence Timmons. And then, I mean, after that, I really don't know much about the depth behind Lawrence Timmons right now. And then you got Kiko Alonso on the other side. Kiko, he's a better outside linebacker in a 4-3 defense. So, you know. I'm just really excited about the defense. In the secondary, you got depth for days. Depth for days. You got Byron Maxwell and then Cordea Tankersley. Either Cordea Tankersley, Xavier Howard, or 6'3" Tony Lippett on playing corner on the other side of Byron Maxwell. That, to me, I would feel comfortable about that. Most likely, I would rather Cordea Tankersley or Xavier Howard solidify themselves as number 2. And then, I mean, Tony Lippett playing either nickel or dime, I would feel comfortable with, because Tony Lippett, 6'3", a former receiver, you know he's got hands. So he'll probably, if he becomes a starter, I'd say he picks off probably 5-6 passes this year. You know, if he's not getting burned out there. I don't really think he's much of a starting corner, though. I'd say Xavier Howard or Cordea Tankersley wins that. And then you play one of those guys at dime, but Tony Lippett and the nickel, not bad. Safeties, you got Nate Allen for 8 games. Nate Allen's a pretty good fill-in until T.J. McDonald comes back. And then T.J. McDonald's a superstar. Rashad Jones on the other side, I'd say Walt Aikens probably backs him up, maybe. I mean, I'd feel comfortable. You still got Michael Thomas, so maybe he backs up Rashad Jones, but I'm honestly feeling optimistic about this season. Like I said, I think an 11-win season. Now, this year I wouldn't say, you know, a playoff win just yet. Unless the Tennessee Titans end up winning that the AFC South and we draw them in the first round. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Miami was there last year. Tennessee hadn't been there in the playoffs in a while. Usually the team that's been there before is the team that's going to come out with the victory. But Miami, we obviously know, at least at this point, they're not ready to compete with New England and Kansas City and Oakland and Pittsburgh. Maybe not even Houston. We still don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to do this year. I don't think he's going to sit the whole year. Every coach will say, hey, a rookie's probably going to sit the whole year. It's probably never going to work out that way. So, I mean, I expect to see Deshaun Watson, and I think he's going to be a very successful NFL quarterback. You know, but also in the AFC South, I don't think the Colts are that good. Andrew Luck, I'm sorry, he's not a good quarterback. He's not elite. I don't think he ever will be. I think Ryan Tannehill, in the end, from that 2012 draft class, Ryan Tannehill is the best quarterback coming out of that class. I'm sorry. It's true, though. Brandon Whedon was a bust. RG3's looking like a bust. And he's not even on the team right now. Andrew Luck can't stay healthy, and when he is healthy, he's ineffective at best. So, he's not effective at all. Like, his first 3 years in the league, he was good, but the last couple of years, he's fallen off big time. And it's probably because of injuries, maybe. Maybe he's still an elite quarterback and the true successor to Peyton Manning, but I wouldn't be too optimistic about it. I mean, the only way to test it is to give Indianapolis an elite offensive line and a good running back. I guess would be the way to test that. I mean, obviously he might need somewhat better receivers too, but hey, Dante Moncrief, T.Y. Hilton, both of those are very underrated receivers, and if Philip Dorsett steps up, and I mean, Jack Doyle or Dwayne Allen steps up. No, Dwayne Allen's in New England, so if Jack Doyle keeps it up, then we can really see what Indianapolis is made of. I think Marlon Mack, at running back for Indianapolis, he may be good, so expect this is Indianapolis' best chance to look and see if Andrew Luck's their franchise quarterback. To be honest, though, I have Indianapolis with just 3 wins this year. Despite all the improvement on defense they made, I really don't think it was too much of improvement. I don't think Indianapolis did enough to improve their defense. I say a 3-win season for Indianapolis. Luck, maybe throwing 18, 19 picks this year. Maybe 22, 23 touchdowns to go along with that. Andrew Luck's just not an elite quarterback in my opinion. You know. I mean, that's just how it is. I think it's going to be tight between Houston and Tennessee to win the AFC South again. Depending on what Deshaun Watson does, I think Houston ends up winning the division. But if Miami draws either Houston or Tennessee in the first round, I could see Miami be winning a playoff game this year. But I mean, if they have to go anywhere like Oakland or Pittsburgh, Kansas City, you know, I really don't see any type of chance of winning a playoff game. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and make my predictions. In the AFC, I think your number 1 seed is going to be the New England Patriots. Your number 2 seed, I'm going to have to go with Pittsburgh as number 2. Number 3 seed is probably going to be Oakland. Number 4 seed, I'd say is Houston. Houston or Tennessee, depending on what Deshaun Watson does. I'm not completely sold on that one yet. Number 5 seed, I think the Dolphins are going to come back and get the number 5 seed. And number 6 seed, I'd have to go with Kansas City. Kansas City. Alright, in the NFC, my number 1 seed for this year, once again, is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. I think Dallas is, well, I don't know, though. I'm rescinding that. I think your number 1 seed in the AFC is actually going to be the Atlanta Falcons again. I don't think the Falcons take much of a step back on offense. Their defense is still good. Your number 2 seed, I'm going to go with the Dallas. Well, your number 2 seed, I'm going with Seattle. Quit! I'm making a video, Mom. What?
Well, bye.
Your number 2 seed is going to be Seattle. Your 3 seed, I'm going with the Green Bay. Your number 4 seed, I'm going with the NFC East winner, which I'm actually going with the Washington Redskins to win the division, because Dallas lost all that in the secondary. Their defense really isn't good anyway. Washington. Number 5 seed, I'm going with Dallas. And then as your number 6 seed, I'm going to have to go with the Detroit Lions once again.
What about the Ravens?
Will you shut up? The Ravens are not making the playoffs as long as Joe Flacco is quarterback. because Flacco sucks. So I mean, guys, there's your basically that's the video then, guys. It didn't exactly go smoothly at all. It definitely wasn't professional, but there you go, guys. All right, redneck out. Peace.